There'll be a new opportunity for small rural communities in Wisconsin to make their elections more secure as we approach the 2020 races.
A state agency is offering federal grant money so clerks can make sure they are less vulnerable to cyber attacks. Rose Schmidt is here to explain how. Rose?
Since the 2016 election, the Wisconsin Elections Commission has been focused on improving election security across the state, and the upcoming 2020 election only increases that need. The chair says today it only takes one town getting hacked to make the entire system vulnerable. As we get closer to an election year,
I'm here as a voter.
There's a heightened awareness from those participating to make sure election processes are secure. At a Wisconsin Elections Commission meeting Tuesday, voters called for more audits of voting machines.
We got to make sure that they're working correctly.
And closer looks at the influence of outside hackers on election systems. After Wisconsin was one of more than 20 states federal authorities say Russian hackers tried to target during the 2016 election cycle.
Time to really be on top of this cybersecurity stuff.
Something some clerks and election officials around Wisconsin will now have the chance to do.
One of my very first meetings here, we talked about multi-factor authentication, and I said, boy, that's a no-brainer. And I was told, you don't realize how low-tech some of our 1,800 and some municipalities are.
The board's chair is hoping to address that concern in the form of a $1.1 million federal grant program. The Elections Commission unanimously decided that local towns can apply for up to $1,200 to make election security upgrades for things like new computers or operating systems.
It is our strength in Wisconsin that we have a very distributed election management system, and most of the time that makes us resistant to attack. But it's also always the case that you're only as strong as your weakest link.
Rural communities with the greatest need will get priority, but the grant money will first go to clerks in the 7th Congressional District, as a primary and special election are scheduled to replace Congressman Sean Duffy from Wausau.
We want to make sure that if we're having an election on the 30th of December, that we're not allowing access to our system.
Some local clerks tell me they are still learning about the grant program because it was just approved today, but the townships of Dunn and Dane say they're interested in applying if they meet the criteria. Larger governments like Madison and Cottage Grove say they likely won't have a need for this grant money because they already meet the security requirements under this.
Yeah, already thinking about next year's election.
2020 coming up soon.
Yeah, it's going to be here in no time. Thank you, Rose.
Thanks, Rose.